Dr. Morgan, clinical psychologist and attachment theory expert. Did you know that I have a free attachment style quiz? You can find out your unique attachment style. What I love about the quiz that I created, it's going to tell you what percentage you are of anxious, avoidant, and secure. So you can get that exact breakdown of where your attachment style currently is. This is so valuable. This is how we change. It starts with knowing what your attachment style is. So go find the link in the show notes and take the quiz. It's going to help you so much. Welcome to the Let's Get Vulnerable podcast. It's your host, Dr. Morgan. I'm so excited about today's episode. This is one of my most favorite topics. This is your dating secret weapon. We're talking about discernment. How do we say no to the wrong people more quickly? AKA you being so protective of the relationship space in your life that you are not letting the wrong people take up space in your dating life. We are not watering plastic plants. All of my OG followers, you know that saying, right? We don't water plastic plants. We don't give our energy to relationships that can't go anywhere. And one of the big things you need to develop is discernment. I'm going to talk about what is it? What does it look like in action? But before I do that, what's even more important is talking about what gets in the way of us having discernment. So what prevents us from being able to say no to the wrong people? There's a few things. In this episode, this is going to be a quick episode, but it's going to be super powerful. So you might have to listen to it a few times, but let's go through what are the things that get in the way of having discernment. These are in no particular order, but number one, you've heard me talk about it, repetition compulsion. This is where you are dating your childhood unfinished business. You are repeating patterns from your past, and your brain has an unconscious wish that this time you would have a different outcome. So this looks like dating that emotionally unavailable person over and over and over. And your brain is hoping this time I can get this person to love me. This time I'll get them to choose me. This time I'll get them to commit. This time I'll get them to work on themselves. And we'll have this great relationship and I'll be seen and valued. And what you don't realize is when you repeat the same dynamics, you get the same results. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. When you're stuck in that loop of repetition compulsion, this looks like insanity in your dating life. And I have whole episodes dedicated to this topic. When you are inside of the Empowered Secure Love program, we spend a ton of time on this, on how do we break the pattern of repetition compulsion. And I can tell you it involves getting to the root. So addressing everything at the root. Where did this compulsion and the repetition, where did it come from? How can we address it at the root and address it deeply enough so that it stops showing up in your dating life? Until you do that, it'll just keep repeating. And the sneaky thing is that you'll think that you're not repeating, but you are. I think if I had $1 for every time I said, oh, but this time it'll be different, right? Like you're in a new relationship, it's the first week and you're like, but this time it's going to be different. This person is great and this is going to be different. And spoiler alert, until you really have done the internal work, it's not different. So repetition compulsion prevents us from being able to say no to the wrong people because of that strong unconscious desire that we have of, it's like, imagine like a magnet, right? You're being magnetically pulled to people who represent your past, and your brain is saying, ooh, this is who we want to date, because this time, if we get it right, it's going to heal us from everything that happened in the past. And that force is just so, so powerful that it's not going to let you have discernment because you are in that pattern. So that's a major block. And most people don't even realize that they have this block. So congratulations for listening to this podcast and gaining some awareness, because a lot of people that are there, they don't even realize that they're there. What is the next thing? The next thing that prevents us from having discernment is a lack of self-trust. This is where that relationship with yourself is broken. You're not able to tune into yourself. You're not able to validate your emotions. This is so common for people who've experienced chronic emotional invalidation. I deal with this a lot with my clients, where you grew up in a household where your opinions, your needs, your emotions, they were ignored or they were invalidated, and you were made to disconnect from your emotions as a way to survive in your household. And sometimes people I meet with, they're like, I didn't experience trauma. And they're thinking of trauma as major events or physical abuse. But then we get into their emotional lives in their households. And it's like, actually, you did. You experienced relational trauma chronically over and over and over again in the form of being chronically emotionally invalidated and not letting your truth be your truth, being told that your truth didn't matter or that it was incorrect or that it was insignificant. I get goosebumps thinking about this. I mean, how many people have experienced that? I know, just thinking about myself, I think my way when I was little of coping with this was just to be happy all the time. How many of you had that of like, well, I just shouldn't feel anything that's inconvenient or negative. Let me just disconnect from any uncomfortable feelings, because if I have those, then they're just going to get invalidated, or I'm going to get ignored, or I'm going to get neglected. And I don't want to be abandoned. So let me just completely disconnect from my emotions. And guess what? When you do that, you break the trust that you have with yourself. You no longer trust yourself to stand up for you, to communicate your needs, to speak your truth, and to make great dating decisions. How can you make great dating decisions if you don't trust yourself? You can't. And this is how some of you and myself in the past, how we can end up in relationships with really toxic people. This is how you get in a relationship with a narcissist, with someone who is abusive, with someone who's completely emotionally unavailable, because you can't tune into yourself enough to know this is not okay. You've broken that relationship with you. So that's number 2. That's a huge one, right? Lack of self-trust will prevent you from having discernment. What's the third thing? The third thing that prevents you from having discernment in dating is scarcity mindset. Not believing that your person's out there, lacking certainty, right? This is so powerful. And there's so much that goes into this. A ton of beliefs about your worthiness here. What do you believe that you're worthy of? Do you believe that everybody else is worthy of healthy, great relationships, but something's wrong with you, so you're not worthy of it? Do you believe that if you do get it, it's going to be taken away? Do you believe that love is supposed to be hard? You're supposed to earn it. You have to work for it. You're not good enough the way that you are to be worthy of it. So whatever your core beliefs are, if that's leading you to a scarcity mindset, to a place where you go, well, the kind of relationship I want is just not available to me. It's just not possible for me. It's possible for my friend. It's possible for that person. It's possible for that person I follow on Instagram, but it's just not possible for me. If that is your belief, you will not be able to say no to the wrong people, because you have so much scarcity that you're going, oh, well, this person's paying me attention. This person is interested in me. So I'm just going to keep going in this relationship because at least I'm getting attention. At least I'm not alone, right? You let go of your standards. Discernment is knowing what to say no to and being comfortable with empty space in your dating life, aka being comfortable with being alone, having empty space, and allowing yourself to be dating yourself during those time periods, to be investing in your own healing, and not feeling like you have to constantly fill the space in your dating life, right? And if I don't have certainty that my person's available, and if I have scarcity mindset of, oh, all the good ones are gone, I am not going to be able to hold true to my standards. I'm not going to be able to practice discernment. So one of the major things in healing this and working on this, get to a place where you know in your bones that your person is so excited to date you. They're so excited to build a healthy, loving relationship with you. Your love story is going to be unlike any other, that you are going to feel the kind of healthy, securely attached, grow with you friendship, unstoppable, all the adjectives. You are going to feel that kind of love and knowing it in your bones. And how do you do that? Well, you start getting crystal clear on what is it going to feel like. And I work with clients on this a lot, on how do we develop this? And I have a whole formula and ways that we can work on developing certainty, and it's super powerful. So realize this, that when you are certain, you're able to practice discernment. When you know your relationship it's already on its way to you, you're just removing the blocks. That's all you're doing. You're removing the blocks. When you know that, you're able to say no to the people who are not right for you. But if you don't fix those other things, you could be so certain and it's still not going to matter. So these are 3 things that are absolute non-negotiables for you to stop wasting your time in your dating life. Okay. And they are, once again, stopping repetition compulsion, developing self-trust, healing that relationship with your inner experience, and developing rock solid self-trust. And then the third thing was developing certainty and letting go of scarcity mindset. So those 3 things need to happen in order to practice discernment in your dating life. Now, what does discernment look like in action? What does this actually look like? It looks like, even when you're on the dating apps, even when you're getting ready to date, you are so connected to your vision for your relationship, for what you want. You're connected to your value. You know your worthiness. You know that you have a blank slate. This is the one that so many people miss. And I see a lot of, I look at the dating coaches and all the things that are out there. And I think this is what's missing from a majority of people who are trying to help people. And I say this with love. It's not judgment. I just think, like, if you don't have this, you're not going to really help people. And it's this: you have to have let go of your past, right? Like you have to get to this place where you have a blank slate. You're not taking your unfinished business. You're not taking your childhood trauma. You're no longer showing up with this anxious, avoidant, or disorganized attachment pattern. You're showing up as your highest and best self with secure attachment. You have a blank slate, and you're so excited about the relationship experiences that you can build, and you're not having expectations, and you're able to go out there and practice discernment. You have clarity. You have clarity. You have peace. You are connected to your inner knowing. You're connected to the vision that you have for your relationship. You're not taking your unfinished business from your past and playing it out and reenacting old wounds with new partners. You're no longer doing that. You're showing up as the version of you that is so ready to build the kind of relationship that you've always wanted. And here's the cool thing. So what else does discernment look like? It gets to feel easy. It gets to feel enjoyable. You're not going, oh my gosh, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings. oh my gosh, what if they're the only person that's interested in me and there's nobody else out there for me and everybody else is married? So I should probably just stay with this person, even though we're not compatible and they're really flaky and blah, blah, blah. No more of the BS. No more of the BS. Just clarity, peace, alignment, and your dating life is fun and enjoyable. Okay. And I think what's awesome is that when you get to this place where assertive is kind, right? This is when you're practicing discernment, you're saying no to people that are not a match for you, that don't match your standards. You're also being kind. You're saying, I respect you enough that I don't want you to waste your time in a relationship with me because ultimately I know this is not the right relationship. And if it's not the right relationship for you, it's not the right relationship for them. And I'm not saying that we go out there and we have these crazy, crazy high standards because that can be a form of avoidant attachment. But I'm saying that we have enough clarity and we know what we want and we have certainty that it's available to us and we're not acting out our past, we're in the present and we're in alignment enough that when it's a no, it's a clear no. And that when we're communicating it with kindness and clarity. We're saying, hey, I had a great time with you. I appreciated the time we spent together. And I'm realizing that I don't think that this is a romantic match for me. I wish you the best. I wish you the best. Right? And we can genuinely mean that. It doesn't have to be this icky thing. We just get to say, hey, if it doesn't work, if it's not the right fit, then rejection is redirection. Same thing if somebody that you thought you were a match with is ending a relationship with you, you get to go, wow, thank goodness I know this now. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe, for letting me know this now. Rejection is redirection, right? Of course, what I want also wants me. Of course, it's on its way to me. I have clarity on what it is. I know it's available to me. I know I'm worthy of it. I know that I no longer need to act out the dramas of my past. And it's only a matter of time until I am living in the relationship that I really want. Okay. So take this episode, listen to it a couple times, let it really sink in. And of course, if you need help with this, I've got you. I mean, we've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I'm getting DMs now like every single day of people who are married, they're engaged, they're having babies, people who are in the best careers of their lives. They have the most amazing high self-worth, their best mental health. I'm getting these messages every day from people who have done this work. The proof is there. We have a proven framework that helps you no matter what your past has been. You are not too broken. You are not too broken. It's not too late. If you've been listening and you've been on the fence, this is the time. This is your sign. Go apply to the Empowered, Secure, Loved program. It's time to rewire your brain for healthy love. And you can't do it alone. Podcasts are great. Books are great. You need to have the coaching, the support, and the proven framework. Okay. I love you. I care about you. Don't wait on this if you know you need it. The link is in the show notes. Go apply today. And of course, as always, I am wishing you high self-worth and great relationships. I'll talk to you soon.